a veteran, and a free-spirited girl ride out Hurricane Katrina. Everything was wonderful until life resumed. That's when he decided to cook her on the stove. Say what? Yeah. Join me as I uncover the story of Zack and Addie. Please note that the content of this recording may contain graphic material, including torture, and explicit language may be used. The opinions are of my own and may be offensive to some listeners. They are my opinions. Everyone has them, and if you do not agree, then ignore them like an adult and move on. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Hey Ravens, welcome to the Ravens Knock. I'm your host, Amy. I want to thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and also referring your friends. If you're not a premium member, you can do so for $7 a month, which is like a cup of coffee. It does help the show out, as podcasting is not free. And you get ad-free content, bonus episodes that no one else gets. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Zachary Bowen was a veteran. He served in Iraq and Kosovo, and he suffered from PTSD. He had been married before and had 2 children, but when he came back from the war, he had a different personality, and his marriage couldn't take it. Addie Hall was an artist and a free spirit, but she held her own demons. She was leery of men due to her past, but she liked Zack. They were both bartenders, and they hit it off from the start. Hurricane Katrina was approaching the area, and everyone in town was fleeing. But Addie and Zack decided to stay. So Addie asked Zack if he wanted to ride out the storm over at her place, and he agreed. How romantic and exciting. Someone who you have fallen in love with is coming to ride out the most dangerous storm with you. Everyone said that they were so in love. They made it through the storm unharmed, but no one had electricity for a few weeks, which was fine with them. They would trade food for the alcohol they collected over time, but no one was calling about the bills. No one cared or even worried about money, responsibility, or finances. It was bliss. Imagine if you never had to worry about money. Like everything was free. You just presented a card with no limits and no payments. A girl can dream, can't she? Addie was a free spirit, and she was fun. To help make people smile, she would flash her boobs, and she would flash even at cops to make them smile. But the cops had more urgent things to do but to haul her in, really just for trying to shed light on a tragic situation. Zack and Addie had made a makeshift bar outside their apartment, serving up drinks at that time, and I'm sure everyone needed a drink at some point. They were living the life they had dreamed about, and making the very best of the situation. They even caught the eyes of a reporter and was pictured in the New York Times. Unfortunately, those times didn't last, and it wasn't long before life as we know it, the stresses of it all, came creeping back as everything slowly began to go back to normal. That put a strain on both of them, because neither one of them really had their life together. Addie had a heartbreaking past of sexual abuse, and she oftentimes would indulge in alcohol to suppress her emotions. And whenever she got drunk, she got mean. Downright mean. She also suffered from PTSD, from that trauma, and she was not getting any treatment. Although I couldn't find specifically if it was ever diagnosed, but her friend suspected that she may have been bipolar. She was not medicated. Her friends recalled the very explosive rages she would have and the very heated arguments that her and Zack would get into. Zack also had PTSD, and it was untreated as well. He was in the military police when he was in the service. He had made friends with a small little girl, and her entire family were killed when a bomb hit their family shop, and this really messed him up. Now, he was kind of a hero. He earned the NATO medal and the Presidential Unit citation for his service, but he only received a general discharge. I'm sure you can ask any serviceman that had ever seen war that they would probably trade all of their medals if you could remove everything that they saw and heard while earning them. You can't unsee, unhear, and unfeel things. You can't control nightmares or being jumpy at certain sounds. And smells, they bring along memories. Since he only received a general discharge, he qualified for the VA benefits, but he did not qualify for the GI Education Bill benefits, and this left him with a bad taste in his mouth. Not only did he not get that, but it really messed him up, and it also destroyed his marriage. As life moved on, Abby and Zack decided they were going to go and move in together, and they found a cute little apartment over top of Voodoo Shop. They moved in, and Zack and Gabby decided that they wanted to try something different. That would be cocaine. Nice. Not treatment to help with the actual problem, but something else to numb it, even though it was only temporary. I have some issues when people nowadays starting down that path. I'm sure they have seen crackheads, someone jacked up on meth. I've heard the extreme lengths people will go to in order to get the drug. And obviously it's extremely addictive, otherwise it would be easy to give up. And yet they make a decision to do it anyway. I'm sure it makes you feel like nothing else in this world. And of course, we all would love to feel that way. I choose not to take it because I see what power it has over you. And what if I liked it? I then know what I'm missing. Therefore, I would desire it along with the addiction. All I know is it never goes well when someone's using. Getting the help is hard. It's extremely frustrating. But people take medication for high blood pressure, diabetes, and they're not ashamed to tell people of those ailments. But you mention anything to do with the brain, and oh, now you're crazy. No, your brain, just like the rest of your body, just isn't working properly. The medication is there to correct that issue, and it may take several different medications at different levels and at different tries, because unfortunately, we can't take a blood sample and say, well, your serotonin is low, so you need 20 milligrams of whatever. The therapy goes along with the medication. It helps you deal with life itself, and also the way you feel and how to adjust to how it feels when your brain has been corrected to the right balance. Mental illness is no different from any other ailment in the body, so we shouldn't treat it as such. What's crazy is when you don't get the help to actually fix the problem for good. To me, that's crazy. But I'll get off my rant. So they add cocaine along with the alcohol and life, and they start to argue a lot over everything. Zack's friends said he began to complain about Abby. On October 4th, Addie went to the landlord and asked that Zack be taken off the lease. She had accused him of cheating and she was kicking him out. The landlord, seeing that she was emotionally charged, asked her to take some time to think about it and to try to work it out. On October 17th, 2006, around 8:30 p.m., a man saw a person falling from the 5th floor of the Omni Royal Hotel. He called 911. When officers arrived, it was obvious that he had died upon impact. They began searching his pockets for an ID when they found a note. The note, in part, read, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one that I took. If you send patrol to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie on the stove, in the oven, and in the fridge, along with full documentation on the both of us and a full signed confession from myself, Zack Bowen." What the? Is he messing with us? Is this some sort of trap by someone else? Did this guy really jump to his death? They go to the address provided in the note and proceeded with extreme caution. The fact that the apartment sat on top of a voodoo shop didn't make it any more comfortable. Once they got the nerve to go inside, they were greeted by a scene that could only be described as a horror film set. It was a warm day outside, but the apartment was really cold. The thermostat was set to the lowest it would go. It was 60 degrees in there. The walls had been spray painted with messages. One of them read, "I am a failure." The messages depicted his pain and suffering and his regret. They found some instructions to call his ex-wife and to be sure to tell her that he loved her. One message on the wall instructed them to look on the stove. There, in a pot on a burner, was a human head that had been charred. You couldn't tell who it was. It was so badly burned. Another pot contained hands and feet. Inside the oven, they found large roasting pans that contained the bags holding Addie's arms and legs. He had seasoned them with something. At first, I was hoping it was to mask the smell, but also on the counter was chopped up carrots and potatoes. Well, there went that. I'll just let you figure out what he was going to do with her. Inside the fridge, they found a large bag that contained her torso. It was beyond disturbing. The police found Addie's journal and saw that Zack had written an 8-page confession letter. It read, in part, "I killed her on October 5th. I very calmly strangled her. It was very quick. After he killed her, he raped her corpse several times before passing out. He got up the next morning like nothing had happened and went to work. When he came home, he put Addie into the tub. He took a knife and a hacksaw and began to cut her up part by part. When he was finished, he cleaned the bathroom spotless. I wonder what was going through his head when he was removing her parts. Did he remember any good memories Was he thinking of someone else? Was he crying? What was he thinking afterward? Any regrets? Was it worth it? Why? Why not just walk out and leave? Why not get help? Why not let her live and just go kill yourself? Why take her with you? Did he enjoy watching the life leave her eyes as he was strangling her? Do you know how torturous it is not to have air? I understand the dismemberment, no matter how sickening that is, but it makes it easier to dispose of someone's body undetected. But why cook her? Why rape her? It took him 4 days to decide what he was going to do with her, but he carried on with life like nothing was wrong. In fact, his friends said that he was in good spirits and was talking about taking a vacation. In his confession letter, he stated that he would be spending his last days with good food, great strippers, and good drugs. Now, to settle y'all's curiosity, Zack's body revealed he had no human contents in his stomach. Thank God. His body was marred with cigarette burns, and according to his letter, he burned himself 1 time for each year he thought he was a failure. He also stated that he scared himself with how calm he was when he strangled the life out of the woman that he loved for the past 1.5 years and at what he had done. It also scared him that he had no remorse. He said he has known forever what a horrible person he was, just to ask anyone. So if you knew of the problem, why not get help and try to fix it the right way instead of numbing it? The cameras at the hotel show Zack taking a drink of something, looking over the edge several times before finishing his drink and jumping. Less than 10 years after the murder, the amazing landlord decided to rent or lease the apartment to the Bloody Mary Haunted Museum and Tour. For a fee, of course. You could tour the apartment where he dismembered Addie, see the stove and fridge where her body parts were kept. What a great way to show respect and remember someone. The town was outraged, of course, but the voodoo lady said that she was educating people of the murder, and it would be stupid to pretend the couple wasn't there. She stated that people were just jealous that they didn't come up with the idea. How about making it a memorial with a plaque or something to tell their story, like a brochure or something, where people can go in, pay respects if they want, for free? No, it's all about money. Money comes before morals these days. Their names were taken off the website, but according to Yelp reviews, it's still there. The show Paranormal Lockdown did an episode there, but the horror props and all the fake blood had been removed. They experienced a cold draft and a presence in the bathroom. You can do what you want with that. I was telling Jamie, my co-host, the other day that there are so many channels on TV running true crime 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long, and have been for years. Why are we our own worst enemy? We have no predators. Everything that kills us is usually traced back to something that we did, man-made. Is it that hard to get along? I'm going to leave you with this. Do me a favor. The next time someone pisses you off, I want you to do what I do. Take a breath and think to yourself that this person didn't sleep last night. They got up, they stubbed their toe, burned their breakfast, cleaned up dog vomit, had a flat tire, and now the school just called. And let it go. In 5 years, it ain't gonna matter. You're not going to remember it. And is it worth taking time off of your life for? Is that person really worth it? Because the stress that you put yourself under is taking time off of your life. My time is valuable to me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let some idiot steal away my time from my kids. That's what you're doing. And are they worth it when you look at it that way? And Ravens, that wraps up that show. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a little twisted. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you can, be a premium subscriber. It really does help the show. Podcasting is not free. You get bonus episodes and you get all your episodes ad-free. Also, I want you guys to know, if you know anybody that's in a domestic situation, the domestic hotline number is 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. You can also text the word START, START, to 88788. Text the word START to 88788. You can also go to the domestic violence website for more information. That website is www.hotline.org. And again, this has been a Southern Sass production. And until next time, guys, avoid rest stops and be safe.